Welcome back to Rugby from the Stands. The autumn internationals are almost upon us, and the fixture list this November is absolutely mouthwatering. We've got teams desperate to prove a point as we close out 2025. You also have the added drama of the world rankings that determine which pool you get assigned to at the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia. The draw is happening right after these tests, so there's everything to play for. Today, I'm breaking down the key fixtures, analyzing the state of the major teams, and giving you my predictions. Let's get straight into it. We have to start with the heavyweight title fight, France versus South Africa at Stade de France. You could not script this better. It's the first time these two have met since that epic World Cup quarterfinal in 2023 at the very same venue. For the French, this is about pure revenge. Conventional wisdom says the Southern Hemisphere teams have the advantage in November. The Springboks are battle-hardened. They have just come off a brutal rugby championship, which they retained. The Northern teams, like France and England, with their multiple club systems, usually need a game or two to settle their combinations. So, advantage South Africa, right? They're definitely looking very good at potentially winning 5 out of 5 this tour. And frankly, their schedule is perfectly balanced to achieve it. They have their massive tests against France and Ireland, but they're spaced out with easier games against Japan, Italy, and Wales. It's a schedule that allows them to rotate, manage their heavy artillery, and stay fresh for the big ones. But France are an emotional team. They are unpredictable. If they turn up at the Stade de France with vengeance in their hearts, frankly, this is going to be helter-skelter stuff. The French have the forwards to match the Boks' power and the X factor in their backs that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. France are the team to watch. If anyone can beat the Boks, it's them. But they're also their own worst enemy. You never know which French team shows up. This game in Paris is the ultimate test for the Boks, and it is arguably the game of the year. Next up, the grudge match that has turned into one of the sport's greatest modern rivalries, the All Blacks versus Ireland in Chicago. This venue is significant. It was at Soldier Field back in 2016 where Ireland beat the All Blacks for the very first time. Since then, it's been chaos. Ireland came down to New Zealand in 2022 and won a series 2-1, a first in history. And frankly, it was a national embarrassment for the All Blacks. But the ABs got their revenge when it mattered most, breaking Irish hearts by knocking Ireland out at the quarters, yet again in 2023. Last year, the game at the Aviva was hyped up. All the drama with the Rico Ioane and Johnny Sexton feud. Rico then leading the haka, but it was an anticlimax. The All Blacks comfortably defeated the Irish, and in the process, showing the world the blueprint of how to beat them. Be a menace at the breakdown, disrupt their set piece, and slow down the Irish phase play, and they become quite predictable. And I think that loss signaled the beginning of what I'm calling the Irish funk. Now, don't get me wrong, they're definitely one of the top teams, but something just isn't clicking. That once impressive multi-phase play, I think it's been figured out. And there's a major concern for Ireland heading into Chicago. They definitely look undercooked. The core of this team, the Leinster contingent, has barely played. Key players have only 1 or 2 games under their belt this season. Are they ready for the intensity of the All Blacks? It's a massive ask. This is the bigger issue for Ireland. They're prioritizing the immediate need for the World Cup ranking points over long-term development. And let's be honest, this squad is aging, and the real worry is their depth. If starters go down, especially in key positions, they look incredibly vulnerable. And let's talk about the number 10 jersey. The debate is over. Andy Farrell must start Jack Crowley from Munster. What we just saw Crowley deliver against Leinster was a test match 10 performance. This isn't just about form, it's about how he's evolved. He used the summer brilliantly. He's physically stronger and faster. But crucially, his game management and kicking variety are what you need at the top level. He neutralized Leinster's aggressive rush defense using brilliant variety, chips and crossfield kicks to go over the defense. He's not just pulling rabbits out of the hat anymore, he's controlling the tempo. Yet, Prendergast seems to be the preferred 10, and I feel that experiment has failed. Prendergast plays behind an incredibly powerful pack at Leinster, and yet he couldn't direct them when the pressure came on. I'd be really disappointed if Crowley doesn't start against the All Blacks in Chicago. Let's look at England. They seem to be in a genuinely good place. Ever since naming Maro Itoje as captain, they've rallied. They started the Six Nations shaky. They managed to beat an off-color France, but they ended strong at number 2. I really like the look of this English backs, especially when Finn Smith is at number 10. They also don't play South Africa this year, but they do have 2 massive games, one against the All Blacks and against the Wallabies. Remember last year, they lost embarrassingly to Australia in the last minute? That game arguably began the Aussie resurgence, and it was the debut of Joseph Akusoswali'i, who absolutely announced himself. England needs to win this game. And to be honest, the squad is looking really, really sharp. Now, let's address some of the silly talk that I've been hearing and that's been making the rounds. Scotland, eternal underachievers. Jim Hamilton, on his very, very successful podcast, the Rugby Pod, claims this is Scotland's opportunity to beat the All Blacks for the very first time. He seems to believe that the All Blacks are weak at the moment. Jim, I love you, but you're absolutely wrong, mate. You forget that the All Blacks don't lose at Eden Park and they don't lose at Murrayfield. After Eden Park, Murrayfield is the All Blacks' fortress. They are currently on a 19-game unbeaten streak at Murrayfield. 17 wins and 2 draws. Scotland have never beaten them. Their record spans 90 years. They haven't lost there since 1935. So, history is on their side. Also, people criticizing the All Blacks are comparing them to the anomaly of the 2010-2015 period. And this is something even New Zealanders do, right? The win rate during Richie McCaw's reign was something between 80 and 90%. That was statistically bizarre. Historically, the All Blacks have a win percentage of around 77%. Actually, if you take out that 2010 to 2015 period win rate, the average is even lower at 74, 75%. And this year, Razor is actually exceeding or meeting that overall average of 77%. So let's be clear about the All Blacks. In the past, yep, they may have rolled out a slightly weaker team against Scotland, but that won't be happening this year. The All Blacks will be fully loaded. If Scotland thinks this is a weak team, I think they're in for a massive shock. The All Blacks will be absolutely out there to win this game. I don't think it's going to be easy. Heck, I think this is probably going to be the most entertaining of all the games in the autumn series. But the All Blacks will be triumphant in the end. Now, let's talk about Australia. Under Joe Schmidt, they really have a great opportunity to win at least 3 out of the 5 games that they have in November. But their schedule is tough. France in Paris will be difficult. But I think their best shot at a major scalp is Ireland. The timing of that game favors Australia significantly. Ireland will be coming off 2 brutal physical tests against the All Blacks and the Springboks. Fatigue will be a major factor for the Irish late in the tour, making them vulnerable to an organised Wallabies side. The question for Australia is always, do they have the squad depth to stay injury-free on a long northern tour? It's anyone's guess. And Argentina. Their schedule is actually perfect for a team that pulls players from all over the world. They start with Wales, then Scotland, allowing them to build cohesion and momentum before the massive test against England. But let's be honest, Argentina seemed to be England's bunny. England historically has a very strong record against the Los Pumas, especially in the recent past. So, where does this leave us? Interestingly, while I think Ireland are not clicking at the moment, they actually have a very, very good recent record against the Springboks. Looking at the last 5 meetings, Ireland have won 4 of them. And you could say they are Rassie's bogey team. So here are my calls. I think the All Blacks will go 4 out of 4. And I think the English game is probably going to be their toughest out of the 4. I'm also predicting that the Springboks will win 4 out of 5. I think France or Ireland might edge them. But don't be surprised if the Boks win all 5. If they get their power game, their Tony Ball right, no team can stand in their way. They had the hardest path to the World Cup finals in 2023. They played who? Ireland in the pool games, then Scotland, then France, England, and the All Blacks. And all of those games, except the Scottish game, was tight and close games. So South Africa know how to win close matches and must-win matches. And they can dig deep and find a way to win. So honestly, it'll be incredible if the Boks can go 5 out of 5. I changed my prediction. I think they're going to go 5 out of 5. So can the All Blacks achieve a Grand Slam as well? Technically, actually, the ABs playing Ireland in Chicago isn't a traditional Grand Slam venue, but let's be real. Chicago is a home game for Ireland. The massive Irish diaspora means they will have the crowd advantage. So I say it counts. Who cares about technicalities? Man, this autumn is going to be incredible, and I can't wait. What do you think about these fixtures and predictions? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Rugby from the Stands.